Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? And can you see my screen? Hello? Am I audible? Okay, thanks. Can you hear me as well? Hi, good evening. This is Anubha. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, I think I need somebody to tell me whether they can hear me or not. Kritika, can you hear me? Gancham, can you hear me? I'm not sure if I'm. Yes, am I audible? Is my screen visible? Ah, okay. Okay, great. Yes, and we can hear you as well. Thanks, Lokesh. Yes, now I see them. Okay, thanks, everybody. Okay, good evening. Sorry to keep you waiting. All this technology is extremely confusing. So, welcome this evening for a session on Uttarakhand in popular culture. Uh, Trust me, this was very, very confusing. It wasn't as easy as it looks. And let us start by a little bit of a music. Nice Pahadi dhun to start with. But let me tell you, growing up, I just heard two things about Dehradun. And one of them was Dehradun ki Basmati और दूसरा था वहाँ के boarding schools. And trust me, I may be speaking for a large majority of the country here. उसके अलावा देहरादून तो चलिए फिर भी ठीक है, उत्तराखंड तो खैर तब था भी नहीं. बट जब हुआ भी तो बहुत कम लोगों को इतना आइडिया है कि वहाँ होता क्या क्या है. I mean, everybody knows Dehradun, people know Hardwar and Rishikesh, and now people know Gangotri and maybe Badri Kedar, but and Almora, of course. But really, really, very, very little knowledge out there about Dehradun. So, as I was saying, the thing is that you have to remember that the things we heard was basically about the boarding schools. So there were these institutional aspirations. And as you can see in some of our movies, those have been met. Student of the Year 1 or 2, both were shot in FRI, which of course is not a boarding school. But I don't think the Doon school would have given them permission and so on and so forth. So they end up doing it in the FRI. And of course, the Indian Military Academy, where Laksh and many other such movies were shot. So the institutional nature of Dehradun was always firmly established in the popular culture. Though in these movies, other than Laksh, of course, where they do refer to the Indian Military Academy, the city is not referenced. Nonetheless, there is the institutes of Dehradun that are represented. And then, of course, Basmati, जो देहरादून की एक खासियत थी, एंड लीची. नाउ दैट सेड, इसके अलावा बहुत कुछ चीज़ें जो थी वो हमें मालूम भी नहीं थी. But Dehradun में अब लीची तो फिर भी शायद मिल जाती है, but Basmati is all about but over. But yes, it is as we're talking of popular culture, it is there in the mindset of the people as one of the things to say about popular culture of Dehradun, and I will come to the rest of the state in a bit, is Basmati. And also at some point, there were movies that were being shot here, which were movies like, on the left hand side, there's a shot from a movie Waqt, which is shot in Nainital, one of the first movies perhaps to be shooting in the Naini Lake. And on the right hand side, a very famous song from a movie Kati Patang, Jis Gali Mein Tera Ghar Na Ho Sajana. Both of them shot in Nainital and very beautifully done. But again, Nainital was referenced perhaps, but no mention of the region really. However, but we'll continue with that. But let me give you a glimpse of the Pahadi tune again. Oh, Lali, Lali, This is a 1977 movie called Abhi To Jeele, probably one of the first few films of Danny and Jaya Baduri, who were classmates at the Film and Television Institute in Pune. However, it released much later. They graduated, I think, in 70, 71, but the movie released only in 77. This was again combining a kind of a perception of the hill towns that rest of the country had. It's a college movie, it's about college students. But what I'm playing here is a lovely Pahadi dhun. तो लाली है सवेरे वाली गगन रंग दे तू मेरे मन का जो सूरज तू मैं धरती तू साथी है मेरे जीवन का तो लाली है सवेरे वाली गगन रंग दे तू मेरे मन का जो सूरज तू मैं धरती तेरी तू साथी है मेरे जीवन का So a lovely glimpse of the Naini Jheel there. And as I said, that movies had been begun to shot in Nainital and Ranikhet primarily. This movie is interesting because इसकी धुन भी पहाड़ी थी, जो काफ़ी पहाड़ी is one of the most common rags to be used in Hindi film music, पहाड़ी और भैरवी. पहाड़ी का advantage ये है that it does not appear like a classical rag, although it can, but most of the tunes can be very very hummable and therefore it's a huge favorite. In fact, खयाम साहब का तो favorite राग ही पहाड़ी था. उनके बहुत ही बढ़िया बढ़िया गाने, including कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है, पर्वतों के डेरे में, and all of them are set on पहाड़ी. तो यहाँ पे ये धुन थी, but it was also a very pristine Naini Lake that we get to see a glimpse of. I'm going to jump a little bit because I don't want to bore you with the entire thing. तू लाली है सवेरे वाली गगन रंग दे तू मेरे मन का जो सूरज तू मैं धरती तेरी तू साथी है मेरे जीवन का नैनीताल again. लाली है सवेरे वाली, गगन रंग दे मेरे मन का। जो सूरज तू, मैं धरती तेरी, तू साथी है मेरे जीवन का। So this was a movie that was extensively shot in Uttarakhand and also employed the local tunes. And of course, it was set in a college in Uttarakhand. So one of the early examples of movies set in Uttarakhand. But before we move on, so most of the movies, and there were many movies, Gumrah, uh, Jheel Ke Us Par, bits of Masoom, and all of them. Sab mein bits the, but never was it referenced at Uttarakhand. कभी भी उसको बहुत हुआ तो नैनीताल might have been mentioned, but it wasn't really mentioned at the state, or you would find even in Hindi movies when they would say कि हाँ हम कश्मीर जा रहे हैं या कुछ, but Uttarakhand was never referred to as such. But in 2018 there was suddenly a deluge for some reason, and two movies came. But let us see the trailer of one, which is not just set in Uttarakhand. The people are supposed to be Uttarakhandi, and they are speaking a language which is, well, Hindi, but with some sort of a Garhwali lilt. So let's have a quick look at this trailer. You all might be familiar with this movie, of course. त्रिपाठी, मोमबत्ती ना ठहरी तेरे टॉयलेट में बल। ये कैसा खेल हुआ? अंधेरे में तीर बल? क्यों दद्दा, सुहाग रात में नहीं चलाते अंधेरे में तीर बल? अरे बस्ट फ्रेंड। So, as you can see, the movie not only set in New Terry Town, which of course was and is a new town built in Uttarakhand. It talked about local people, their problems, batti ki problem, of course, and the lingo and the lehja of speaking was supposed to be something which was local. So I'm not going to again bore you with the entire script, but just a bit. तो जल जा या बुझ जा बल, ये बंद बुझ क्या लगा रखी? नमस्ते मैडम, भूकंप पीड़ित क्षेत्र से आई ठहरी। तेरी जुल्फों को क्या हुआ नोटी? हाँ चली गई बत्ती रेडी होते होते, एक साइड से हुए एक साइड के रह गए भाई। So the whole aspect of the Tehri Jheel and of course the Tehri New Town and all of that kind of came together in this movie, which was one of the first few movies to be really set in Uttarakhand. सिर्फ facts और figures की भी बात कर लें? Facts तो सब मेरे पास है, और आपके होते फिगर की बात मैं कैसे करूं मैडम? जनरेटर के भरोसे ठहरा आने वाला कल, बत्ती गुल है मीटर चालू, शौक न लग जाए बल 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 बल। तो वो बल कहने का तरीका और लहजा. So at least there was a movie which was completely set in Uttarakhand and tried to bring the common people of Uttarakhand to the fore rather than just use it as a setting. So like I said, 2018 was an interesting year for Uttarakhand because two movies released which kind of came on this zone. One was, of course, as we saw, Battigul and Meter Chalu. And the second one on the Uttarakhand tragedy or the Kedarnath tragedy was Kedarnath with Sushant Singh Rajput and Sara Ali Khan, which again was set in the region. The lingo may not have been so intrinsically kind of linked to the local lingo, but somehow there was an attempt to show Garhwal as it is. So these were the two movies which suddenly appeared in 2018 without, I don't know why both of them appeared in the same year or whatever, and both of them were set in Uttarakhand. I actually wanted to start with this one because of the rather sad happening with Sushant Singh Rajput, but then I thought, let's get on with Uttarakhand. And interestingly, both the movies had songs dedicated to Shankar, of course. But of course, before any of this happened, there was a movie in 1967 called Dulhan Ek Raat Ki. It's a, if you look at it from a feminist point of view, it's quite a misogynist movie in that sense, and you can get very upset and angry about it. But do watch it because it shows Dehradun like no other movie does. It starts with, I'm not showing the video clip here, but it starts with the train coming into the Dehradun station, which still looks like the same. And then, of course, there are a lot of references in the movie, including the quality restaurant, which doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if this is a screen grab. So, however clear it could be. But Dulhan Ek Raat Ki was shot extensively in 1960s in Dehradun and Mussoorie, and also shot in local locations. It was never said or mentioned that this Mussoorie was mentioned, but Dehradun was not really mentioned. But it was left to everybody's guess that yes, this was Dehradun. But if you are interested in trying to catch some glimpses of an older Dehradun or Mussoorie, do catch this movie and do ignore the story completely. But when we speak of quality restaurant, of course, we have to speak about the rusks and the sticky jaws of Dehradun and the two famous bakeries. One is Elora's and one is Sunrise. So as one grew a little older and became a little bit more aware, so Basmati or boarding school के बाद Dehradun के sticky jaws also became quite a famous thing in the popular, or at least in my popular consciousness. Anybody who would be going to Dehradun would be said कि भाई rusk और sticky jaws ले आना. And so that became a kind of a marker for the city. So rusks and sticky jaws, and the famous Dehradun bakeries, of course. And while we are talking of food, of course, can Char Dukan now be far behind? So Char Dukan has also become a kind of a popular uh, trope for tourists. So landlord जाके चार दुकान पे बन मस्का खाना तो है ही. This was also there in another movie, which is the sequel to the first Student of the Year. So it was there in Student of the Year 2. But yes, Char Dukan is very atmospheric and very pretty. And yes, I mean, I think its reputation in popular culture is justifiably claimed. And of course, how can we forget the famous Choti Wala of Rishikesh and all the controversies that surround it? I remember as a young girl, as a child, really, when I first visited Rishikesh with my parents in the early 80s, Chotiwala and of course Rishikesh was not so much on the tourist map and not so crowded. And we were on this side of the Ganges, on the road side of the Lakshman Chula, and there were these boards which kept saying Chotiwala, बस थोड़ा आगे. और थोड़ा आगे करते करते लगभग 5 किलोमीटर चलवा दिया उन्होंने हमें. But this whole very intriguing साइन बोर्ड ब्रांडिंग विच सेड चोटी वाला बस थोड़ा सा आगे करके करके हमने लक्ष्मण झूला भी क्रॉस करके जब तक स्वर्ग आश्रम पहुंच गए वे द चोटी वाला वाज. एंड आई रिमेंबर दैट इट वाज क्वाइट द हाई पॉइंट, एटलीस्ट फॉर मी एज अ यंग गर्ल ऑफ माय ट्रिप. उस वक्त वो चोटी वाले लोग वहाँ बैठते नहीं थे. इट वाज जस्ट अ प्लेन सिंपल भोजनालय and with just the board, but no Chotiwala sitting there in person. But that whole experience of looking for Chotiwala is something that has stayed embedded in my memory. Of course, now Chotiwala has kind of become an icon, but I believe the food quality has gone down. But of course, there are those two big, and the restaurants have split because of the feud in the family and all of that. But I believe there are these two big fat Chotiwalas that sit there and which are a great attraction as selfie points or whatever. I mean, So I have been reading about them, and yes, it is interesting. And the point that there are about 1,000 applicants per day for that position is what the owners and the founder, not the founders, but the owners and the managers of this establishment say. जैसे चोटी वाला बनने के लिए हमारे पास हजारों की तादाद में एप्लीकेशंस आती हैं. So that is another popular icon of the state. And when we are talking of visitors, how can we forget some of the most famous visitors to Dehradun? Who wrote this song? So the Beatles, as we know. Let's just have a little bit of a glimpse of George Harrison's Dehradun.
Direction takes another takes you day. Another takes you day.
probably one of the most famous sort of popular icons to visit the region have been the Beatles, who did spend. George Harrison spent the maximum time, almost a month. Ringo Starr left in a week or 10 days because he couldn't bear the food and the insects. Uh, John Lennon followed soon, but it is rumored he followed because he was here with his wife, at that point estranged, and he wanted to head back to London to be with Yoko. But Paul McCartney stayed a little bit longer, and as did Harrison, who at that point also picked up sitar and all of that. But it is said that whatever their fallout with Maharishi Yogi would have been, I mean, they left in somewhat unpleasant circumstances, but later they kind of all said that yes, there was no evidence to prove any misdemeanor in the ashram. But however, forgetting all that aside, the fact is that creatively it was an important part in their life, and that is what they have acknowledged, and many of their biographers have acknowledged, because they had already become the Beatles, and a lot of the pressure of being the Beatles was upon them, which was coming in the way of them producing more songs. So even that brief sojourn, which was maybe just a few weeks in Rishikesh in an ashram where they were cut off from the glare of media. Also, this was pre-internet and pre-mobile phone and the pre-communication boom. So not many people in India knew of the Beatles, so they would be pretty much left alone here. They stayed in an ashram with very basic, simple infrastructure, vegetarian food, and jammed informally most of the time. And their creativity just flowed. And the very famous album called The Beatles, or the White Album, has most of the songs that were composed and written when they were in Rishikesh. They are rumored to have composed close to 48 songs when they were here, including Hey Jude, which is not part of the album but which was released as a single. But it was also supposed to, rumored to have been written in their sojourn at the ashram in Rishikesh, and also a couple of other ones. There were other interesting musicians there. There was Donovan, who's written the Hurdy Gurdy Man, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps was also rumored to have been initially composed in Rishikesh ashram. So a lot of credit there to Uttarakhand vis-a-vis Beatles' prolific output. But yes, some of the most famous visitors. But of course, our natives who have made Uttarakhand what it is, and especially Dehradun, one of the most popular and loved inhabitants of the state is, of course, Mr. Ruskin Bond, who's now been translated into multiple languages, and his books are loved by people all over, adults and children alike. And he was also kind of captured in the wonderful Doordarshan series called Ek Tharasti, which captures his growing up years in the valley very, very beautifully. Some of you younger ones may not have seen it, so it's really worthwhile because it captures the scenic very well. And then, of course, he has the credit of being the original author of these two very fine movies, Saath Khoon Maaf and The Blue Umbrella, both directed by Vishal Bhardwaj, both based on stories by him, but both unfortunately not shot in Uttarakhand, but shot in Himachal Pradesh and Coorg and Kashmir and all the other places. So I wonder why. So that is something that, as lovers of Uttarakhand and natives of Uttarakhand, we should probably be talking about and discussing. But that said, Ruskin Bond has done more to put Uttarakhand and on the national and perhaps the international map than anybody else. All his stories, whether it is the room on the roof or the night train at Shamli, and the all of them, they're absolutely fantastic and bring alive the Doon Valley like nobody else does. So he, I think, is the almost the state mascot, if I may say so, at least for the Garhwal region. And then the other famous native, Mr. Tom Walter, who born an American but grew up in Dehradun, Missouri for most of his life, spoke absolutely impeccable Hindi and Urdu. As you can see, this is a little shot from his play called Ghalib, where he played Ghalib. So for an American so-called white man to play Ghalib itself is unusual, but he of course did it with much aplomb. And this little snippet here is from his little cameo in Shatranj Ke Khiladi by Satyajit Ray, where he played the young East India Company uh, official or officer who was actually quite favorably disposed to the natives, as they would call them. So it's a very interesting case of him being actually a native, but always having to portray the outsider because of his looks, and till he kind of reclaimed later in his life with his theater, and also by probably one of the most funny, irritatingly funny roles that he did, which was of Mandakini's brother in Ram Teri Ganga Maili. So he probably, because he had blue eyes and Mandakini had blue eyes and they were supposed to play hill people. Don't ask me what was the casting logic, but he was here as a native Uttarakhandi. I also wonder why he's dressed like that, but well, he was supposed to be a person from Gangotri in this movie because that's where the movie is set. Which then brings us very effectively to the movie, which actually was the first movie which did talk of Uttarakhand as Uttarakhand. It was a huge hit, largely for various controversial reasons, including a song picturized in a waterfall on Mandakini, which actually, if you look at it, it's not such a bad song. But then, at that, this was in the 80s, so I think sensibilities were affronted. That said, this movie was the first movie which was actually shot in slightly remote areas of Uttarakhand, basically Harsil and Gangotri, and moved away from Almora and Rani. Not even Almora. Nobody went up as far as Almora. People just went up till Nainital and at best Ranikhet. Uh, so yeah, this was the first movie which was shot really in what what would be understood as reasonably interior areas of Uttarakhand. Very beautifully shot, if you ignore the story again. But the scenes and locales are wonderful, and you can catch some lovely old Garhwali architecture as well as scenery, untouched as it is today, untouched, or as what we see today, which is crowded and overcrowded. This is the post office in Harsil, where a couple of scenes of the movie are shot, and so much so that this has become like a tourist spot because this still stands. This post office in Harsil still exists, and for any tourist who's going off to Gangotri and does go off to Harsil, does end up going there because ये राम तेरी गंगा मैली वाला पोस्ट ऑफिस है, और वो झरना जहाँ पे वो फेमस सीन song picturized किया है, that apparently now is called the Mandakini Jharna. Now whether it was originally the Mandakini Jharna, and this lady was named on that, or it became Mandakini Jharna because the movie was shot there, I really don't know. But suffice to say that Ram Teri Ganga Maili was one of the first few movies that actually went into the deeper areas of Uttarakhand and showed the state as it is. And of course, it was still not Uttarakhand at that point. That brings us back to, should I say, mainstream popular entertainment. And there are many people. There are many people that one can name here. And the list is endless. But I will start with some of the most recent ones. Prasoon Joshi, you all recognize. He's the CEO of McCann Erickson, advertising firm, but also a lyricist now of much fame and repute, having written songs like for movies like Tare Zameen Par and many others. He is an Almora native, so he's at least till his college days is pretty much an Uttarakhandi. This is Tigmanshu Dhulia, who has not really lived in Uttarakhand, but still nowadays he does have interests in the state, so I've added. And he's of course a famous director of movies like Hasil and Pan Singh Tomar and all of that. Himanshu Joshi, one of the lead singers for Indian Ocean, he's again from Almora, and his claim to fame, really, other than the fact that he sings for Indian Ocean and is a part of the band, is that his mama is Mohan Upreti. कुछ लोग आप में से मोहन उप्रेती साहब को जानते होंगे, जो नहीं जानते होंगे उनको थोड़ी देर में हम बताते हैं. तो हिमांशु जोशी साहब इज़ फ्रॉम अल्मोड़ा, और इन्होंने शुभा मुद्गल के लिए आप भी जाके सुन सकते हैं साउंड क्लाउड पे. He's done some recording of some old Kumauni songs, which is really beautiful. So anybody who's interested in the local folk music and especially the fast losing traditions, I would really advise that you go and have a listen at Shubha Mudgal's SoundCloud. And the fourth picture, of course, I don't know how many of you recognize it. Sadly, Facebook is a very non-interactive presentation medium, I realize. I would have loved to do this face-to-face, but this is Jubin Nautiyal. जौनसारी हैं, देहरादून के हैं और आजकल बहुत ही ज़्यादा फेमस है विद हिज सॉन्ग्स फ्रॉम कबीर सिंह एंड बजरंगी भाईजान एंड आई डोंट इवन नो व्हाट ऑल सॉन्ग्स ही संग but he's currently one of the much featured and sought after singers, playback singers of Bollywood. He's also performed on Coke Studio where he has sung Pahadi songs, especially Sathi and all of that. So these are some people who are currently making, but there are many more. I mean, if I go on the list, there's Himani Shivpuri, there's Deepak Dobriyal, there is Varun Badola, who's originally Pahadi. There are many more, and I'm sure I'm forgetting all the names. Some people would even claim that Archana Puran Singh and Anushka Sharma, by virtue of having some links with Dehradun, Archana Puran Singh maybe more so, but Anushka Sharma very fleetingly. But yes, but अगर वो ignore भी किया जाए, but there are many more people in the entertainment industry who are from Uttarakhand these days. Uh, but there are only few people who put it on the world map. And while Mr. M.S. Dhoni has not really lived in Uttarakhand, but his roots are very strong. I didn't want to put his. I mean, they're all on the net, but I didn't want to put very personal family pictures here. But you can see, I just wanted to put his wedding picture because बिल्कुल पहाड़ी अटायर तो नहीं है, but फिर भी if you can see the bride is wearing the nuts and all of that, and so it was quite a bit of an interesting thing. And the fact, of course, that he's rumored to have bought land in Dehradun, and earlier this year his wife has actually announced that if he does not play cricket anymore, they will relocate to Dehradun. Now that remains to be seen, but he's one of the most famous Uttarakhandis in the world right now, and also a great idol for many other young people. But that's not all the Uttarakhandis there are in sports who are idol to young people. There are some more. There is, of course, Jaspal Rana, and before that, Madam Bachendri Pal, जो अगेन उत्तरकाशी डिस्ट्रिक्ट से हैं और बहुत रिमोट विलेज से हैं. So she comes from a very humble background, but being the first Indian woman on Everest and then having scaled multiple peaks is an icon for all of that. And Jaspal Rana से तो आप familiar हैं ही. अभिनव बिंद्रा भी ओरिजिनली देहरादून के बताए जाते हैं, though nowadays he is a resident of Chandigarh. But there are many other sports people. There's Ekta Bisht for cricket, and there's of course Tashi and Nungshi Malik for mountaineering again. Ekta Bisht for women's cricket, and in men's cricket you have Unmukh Chand and Manish Pandey and Pawan Negi. There is also very interestingly Meer Ranjan Negi, जिनकी कहानी पे थोड़ा चक दे इंडिया विद शाहरुख खान बनाई गई थी. मीर रंजन नेगी was the goalkeeper for the Indian hockey team, and because India lost that match to Pakistan, there was some controversy whether those goals were deliberately allowed, or was he really not in a position to stop it. So that kind of made the backbone of the story eventually of Chak De India, which Shah Rukh Khan portrayed. But Meer Singh Negi is also from Uttarakhand. ये controversy ज़्यादा इसलिए भी हुई क्योंकि उनका first name Meer है, so people assume that he's Muslim and all of that. Not that that should be any reason. Then there is of course Anirudh Thapa and Deependra Negi, who are currently playing for the Indian football team as well. So I think in sports also Uttarakhand has a lot of contribution to the, and increasingly so. But on all this, I was, when I was, even researching or reading, and of course, trust me, I had loads of fun doing this. But सब गढ़वाल का ही था, कुमाऊं का क्या हुआ? So I was beginning to think कि भाई ये तो ट्रेडिशनल गढ़वाली कुमाऊनी लड़ाई हो जाएगी यहाँ पे, because I'm getting all the evidence and all the examples from Garhwal. So what's happening to Kumaon? So I deliberately changed track and went to Kumaon. और मैंने आपसे हिमांशु जोशी जी और मोहन उप्रेती जी के कहा था कि उनके मामा मोहन उप्रेती हैं. तो लेट्स हैव अ लिटिल लुक, अ वेरी स्मॉल स्निपेट ऑन मोहन उप्रेती साहब.
बेडुपा को बारमासा, बेडुपा को बारमासा, नरण का फल पाको देगा मेरी थैला, नरण का फल पाको देगा मेरी थैला.
सो मोहन उप्रेती साहब अल्मोड़ा के थे और उन्होंने बेड़ू पाकू बारोमासा का music there. Beru Paku Barumasa is an older song, but it was set to music by him. And he also worked a lot in reviving the Kumauni folk music, especially the Ramlila also. तो उस पे उन्होंने बहुत काम किया. He was associated with the National School of Drama. He and his wife, then they were also with the All India Radio and Doordarshan, and they did a lot of work. So he's one of those leading figures in the cultural scene of Uttarakhand who have uh, put it on some sort of a national map. And this was before it was a state, so it was all the more difficult because it was a subsect of what was then Uttar Pradesh. But so that was Mohan Upreti Sahab, Himanshu Joshi, unke bhanje hain. So by this I shifted to Almora from what I was hitherto in Garhwal. तो अब हम कुमाऊं की ओर चलते हैं. So of course the punts of Kumaon are very famous. एक तो गोविंद वल्लभ पंत तो है ही, बट खैर वो स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में है तो वहाँ हम इतना नहीं जाएंगे. बट सुमित्रानंदन पंत, a very famous Hindi poet and very very easily understood and recognized and also read by people. आजकल हम लोग हिंदी साहित्य तो पढ़ते ही नहीं हैं और पोएट्री तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं पढ़ते, बट स्टिल अगर कभी आपको मौका मिले तो आई वुड से डू रीड अ फ्यू पोएम्स बाय सुमित्रानंदन पंत. Extremely easy and lilting. And the other, of course, is a very towering figure, and I'm especially proud of, I can't take personal credit, but almost, of Gaura Pant Shivani. She wrote under the nom de plume Shivani, or unki stories or novels were like huge rage. I was very young, but I do remember that Inki Likhi Kahaniyan and novels used to come to our house regularly. She used to write regularly in very famous magazines like Dharmyug and all, and extremely readable stories capture, like Ruskin Bond captures the Doon Valley, Shivani captures the Kumauni ethos so well, and you must try and read her. I'm very surprised. In fact, I'm very surprised that Bollywood has, or any other film industry for that matter, has not yet woken up and taken to convert her stories into movies, because they will lend themselves very nicely into movies. There was an attempt in the 70s or 80s, I think, but I think that movie tanked. It was a mid-budget film, so sometimes you need this slightly well-mounted films. But anyways, so her stories remind me a lot of Sharat Chandra Chatterjee's stories, a lot of which have been converted to film, and that's why I think that Shivani's stories can be very easily converted to film. So very famous, captured the ethos of Kumauni, everyday life, especially women's perspective, domestic life, very well, extremely enjoyable. And of course, her two daughters, Mrinal Pandey and Ira Pandey, are both themselves well-known authors. And Ira Pandey's biography of Shivani called Diddi is it's unputdownable. So I would really recommend that all of you in Uttarakhand do read it. तो शिवानी जो थी उनका, so her father was a senior official. I mean, she came from a well-to-do Gaur Brahmin family and was educated well. And her father was friends with another very interesting person whom we just come to. And because of that, Shivani was sent off to Shantiniketan to study. And this very interesting person, who was a friend of her father's and would visit their house quite often, was Rabindranath Tagore. But before we come to Tagore, there was also Uday Shankar. There were some visitors to Almora, and one of them was Uday Shankar. This is Uday Shankar. He set up the Uday Shankar School of Dance in Almora, which was, I think, an institution way ahead of its time. And he had traveled the world. He had learned the Russian ballet. He had performed all over the world. He's, incidentally, for those of you who don't know, he's the elder brother of Pandit Ravi Shankar. And his Guru Bhai as well, in the sense उन दोनों के Guru Alauddin Khan Sahabi थे. So Uday Shankar set up the school in Almora, again on the behest of his teacher, who was again Rabindranath Tagore. And he's made one film called, and if you read the kind of people who visited the school, right from Zora Sehgal to Balraj Sahni and a lot of other people that we know, of course Ravi Shankar and all of those, Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab and Alauddin Khan Sahab and all of them. I mean, it is amazing just to imagine. In fact, यहाँ पे तो शायद आपको बाबा जैसे उनको कहते थे बड़े गुलाम अली खान साहब दिख भी रहे हैं. I think this is him in this picture here. So an amazing group of people getting together in Almoda and producing some fantastic stuff. Kalpana was the movie that they made. Nowadays, you do get snippets of it in on YouTube. I have a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this was a good recording, so I thought I'll just play a little bit. Please remember, this is around 1940s. That was Uday Shankar himself. Oh, sorry. You can see influences from Kathakali. Some interesting cinematography. Very experimental work. Very experimental work. Do see that this is, all the juxtaposition and the layering is happening without much technology. This is 1940s. So I think that was a stupendous experiment to have happened in Almora. I used to have a book long ago, which I read long ago, which kind of described why people moved away and the institution never took off. But a lot of it had to do with funding. And I think that it's a pity that something like that has never picked up again. There still stands an institute there, but it looks, whatever I could see on the net, it looks like a ghastly government institute. But this fabulous place that was Uday Shankar's academy is lost. But why Gaura Shivani went to Shantiniketan and why did Uday Shankar come to Almora is because of this gentleman, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, who visited Uttarakhand many times, especially Almora, Ranikhet, and Ramgarh. 1903, he came soon after his wife expired with his ailing daughter. Then he came again in 1914 and 1937. Girda, which is again a nom de plume of a famous Kumauni poet, उन्होंने कहा भी था जब गुरुदेव रविंद्र ठाकुर आए थे अल्मोड़े कि आज तो सूरज उगे हैं. And so Gurudev kept visiting Almora, Ranikhet, and Ramgarh and wrote extensively here. So one of the things that he's written here is something known as Vishwa Parichai, which is his treatise on science, which is still not translated into English, but it's supposed to be a naturalist version of science. Again, very interesting and written in these very natural surroundings. This is the house where he used to stay in Ramgarh. Apparently, it's now all sort of broken down and nobody takes care of it. I don't have the latest data, but this is what I could glean. On the other hand, the place that he had in Almora, it's called Tagore Bhavan, और वहाँ एक museum बना दिया गया है. I haven't been there, but suffice to say that Rabindranath Tagore had a special soft spot, and all the way from Shantiniketan and Kolkata, which is reasonably far. And remember, this was the time before there was no Jolly Grant Airport, so he couldn't fly in. He probably had to take a train all the way till Kathgodam, maybe change once or twice in the way, and then ride up to Ramgarh or Almora. So it is his love for the mountains that brought him back time and again to these mountains. And another very famous Bengali who came before Gurudev came was Swami Vivekanand. He visited as a young monk with his Guru Bhai. He visited Almora and Kumaon region again, और उन्होंने नैनीताल से चलना किया था, शुरू किया था, और बहुत बड़ा उन्होंने एक, आजकल तो हम उसको ट्रैक कहेंगे, बट दे हैड टेकन अ बिग तीर्थ यात्रा where he did say that much of his realizations of microcosms and microsms appeared on Kosi River. So Kasar Devi is के पास जो गुफा है, he is rumored to have meditated there, and the image below is the Kasar Devi temple. Um, and so, but he also kept revisiting Almora many times. Later, some couple of his disciples. There are a couple of ashrams, Vivekananda ashrams in Almora, all set up by his disciples. But this particular one, called the Advaita Ashram or the Mayavati Ashram, was where he visited as well. It still exists, and apparently it's a beautiful place. It's in Lohagati, Champavat, and उनके disciples से set up किया गया था. It's almost like, it's called like the Belur Mutt of the Himalayas. But there are other instances also that he visited. And of course, our own Vivekanand Ki Bauli in Rajpur near Dehradun. So how could we not have that? तो देवभूमि में भी बहुत लोग आए. विवेकानंद को हम पॉपुलर कल्चर तो नहीं कहेंगे, बट एट सम लेवल ही हैड कॉट द इमेजिनेशन ऑफ पीपल. इन फैक्ट, इफ यू रीड व्हाट ही इज रिटन अबाउट उत्तराखंड, इट इज वेरी इंस्पायरिंग because he calls it the land where you can get realization. And so Bengalis seem to have a special connection. So there's Swami Vivekanand, and there's Rabindranath Tagore, then there's Uday Shankar, who's also sort of partly Bengali in the sense, born and brought up, not born and brought up, but yes, genetically, and Gaurav Pant, and all the people who were influenced by all this intellectual fervor coming from Bengal. And some natives of Kumaon. Jim Corbett, one of the most famous ones, although he left in 1947. I chose to put him here because one, of course, that he was a long time resident, and also did map the botanically and environmentally map the area to some extent. I'm still not very sure about his concept of killing the big cats, but later on in life, apparently, he turned into a big conservator. So I think we let it pass. But the thing here, which I want to, why I bring it here, is because he's also one of the most, like Ruskin Bond and others, probably one of the most read writings from Uttarakhand. As you can see, it translated not just into from English to Hindi, but to multiple Indian languages. So again, very widely circulated, and a deep impact on popular culture and for forming notions of the state. And that's what popular culture does. It forms our popular notions for the large majority of the population, which is not going to read high texts and classical texts and all. These are the little things that make the impressions of a state or a region, and these are the kind of writings that add to it. Uh, but that is not all. There are many other people from Kumaon, especially writers. Rahul Sankrata and Vatsyayan Agye, very famous, Mahapandit kaha jata hai unko, not originally by birth an Uttarakhandi, but has spent a lot of time in Ramgarh. Also Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, Yashpal Sharma, and Manohar Sham Joshi. Manohar Sham Joshi to Uttarakhand ke hi hai, and his claim to fame is that he's the writer of famous television serials like Bunyad and Hum Log. So a lot of writing coming out of Kumaon. Govind Ballabh Pant ki granddaughter is Namita Gokhale. So she's also another famous writer, as we do know. And there are many, many more, and I'm sure I've missed half. Even in the Garhwal region, like when I did mention Ruskin Bond, there's also C.L.E. and Bill Atkin and all of those people. And of course, Nayantara Sehgal, Anita Desai is originally from Dehradun. So a lot of authors who are from that region. So there is so much more to cover. That was my revelation. And I had not expected that, it would take me so much time. And it took me a lot more time than what I had expected. And I was really at a loss as to what to take and what to leave. but in the end, one must end at some point, and I think I've taken almost an hour. So this is just an overview. This is in no way a complete picture of what all the popular culture of Uttarakhand is. But let us end here till we start again, and let us end by this very engaging video.
जोरदार तालियां ममता रावत के लिए। आपके गाने के साथ एक मिलता जुलता बहुत प्यारा एक फिल्मी गीत है।
Since we started with this,
मेरे मेरे होठों पे मीठे मीठे गीत में खुदा, आगे आगे चले हम पीछे पीछे प्रीत में खुदा। मेरे मेरे होठों पे मीठे मीठे गीत में खुदा, आगे आगे चले हम पीछे पीछे प्रीत में खुदा। बाबू बारे मासा, ఏడు బాబు బారే మాసా, నరణ కపల్ బాబు చేదా మేరీ చేలా। वंडरफुल, देखिए आपने तो हमें जोरदार तालियां।
that was a thing, but I want to end with this one because I found this, but this was most engaging and interesting. So since we had already moved from Garhwal to Kumaon, and Bedupaku is still for the whole state, not really just for Kumaon. So here goes. Now it is not just for the region or the state or the nation. We are kind of international. So now to head to the Maggie Point, because how can anything about the hills be complete without momos, chais, and Maggies? So thank you, and hope that was interesting for some of you. I'm happy to take questions now if there are any. Are there any questions? I'm trying to see in the chat box. Okay, thank you. I think we have no questions, so probably I can. Yes, of course. I would love to cover Jaunsari heritage. Like I said, that this was Vivekji. This was just uh, just a dipstick, as I would say. And I was unraveling. When I started, I thought, okay, it's not so complicated, but it is much, much more complicated. And I think I learned much more than I talked about, and that itself has been a rewarding experience. I feel partly in Uttarakhand myself. Thank you. Yes, Chotiwala, of course, and Sab Pant, Shivani Pant, Shivani Pant, Govind Ballabh Pant, and Sumitranand Pant, of course. और जौनसारी हेरिटेज को कैसे कवर करना है वो तो खैर लोकेश जी बताएंगे. ही इज़ द एक्सपर्ट ऑन जौनसारी हेरिटेज. But I was trying to keep it to the very, very popular level. And again, like I said, I must have missed out on thousands of things. There are so many movies that have been shot in the state, but I was just not trying to look at movies which have just used the state as a backdrop. And that is something that probably I would like to end with, that uh, when I see movies like Ram Leela or that Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, so Gujarat becomes very important in the movie. When I see movies like Padmavat or something, Rajasthan becomes very important. In fact, yes, I must add there's a very amazing movie called Badrinath in Telugu with Allu Arjun. And yeah, Bal Mithai I did not. But Allu Arjun ka movie called Badrinath. You must see. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what it is about. I watched it in bits for the process of putting together for this talk, and in the end, I just thought it was too much to add here. But you must see it because it's got some VFX, and there's Badrinath temple, of course, and it's quite crazy. It's all out there. So what I was saying is that sub states, when they Bahubali, it captured the Telangana Andhra region so well. So point being that Uttarakhand pe, I don't think anybody has yet made a movie. I mean, Batti Gul, Meter Chalu, and Kedarnath were there. Batti Gul more so than Kedarnath. Kedarnath, in a way, used the floods as a metaphor, and just about that. Batti Gul was trying to be a little bit more local, but I think we need to make movies and put it out there on popular culture, like this Bedu Paku, which was from a school in Chicago. If it can be there, I'm sure it can be everywhere else. Of course, Dalanwala House, home to which Dalanwala House. बहुत सारे हैं डालनवाला में रहने वाले. उस्ताद वलायत अली खान साहब हैं और बहुत सारे लोग हैं, अभी भी रहते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. आई मीन, इफ यू नो, Landor still is home to very famous and personalities like, of course, Bond Sahab, but also Victor Banerjee and Pranay Roy and Vishal Bhardwaj and all of those people. नो राशि, आई डोंट थिंक. आई थिंक उसके लिए आपको लोकेश सर से रिक्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा फॉर the Devta Puja, because that itself would be a complete. I think it can be a 1 day session. Forget a 1 hour lecture. So, I think that's it. Should we end this? Anybody, Lokesh? Um, Lokesh, shall we wrap this up? Shall I sign out? Teesri Manzil, bits of it was shot in Dehradun. Yes. Uh, yes, thank you, Lokesh. So, till we meet the next time. Yes, of course, the local cinema of Uttarakhand is also very prominent. I avoided that deliberately because, one, I don't understand the language, so I don't think it'll be fair of me to comment on that. Though I did see bits and pieces of it while I was preparing for this talk, and it was some of it was really, really entertaining. What I was trying to look for and I could not find, but if some of you can find, is tell me. The song that I played right in the beginning to Lali hai Savere Wali, उसका ओरिजिनल पहाड़ी सॉन्ग अगर कोई मुझे बता सके, so that would be really nice. I looked for it really hard, but I couldn't find. But I have a feeling it's an original pahadi song. The धुन is very pahadi. It has to be a folk song somewhere. So अगर किसी को कभी मिले तो that would be really nice. Okay, thank you everybody. I think our time is up. It's 7 o'clock. So till we meet again for the next BTTT talk. Thank you everyone. Thanks the team from Been There Doing That. Lokesh, Sargam, Ghansham, Sana, everybody. And it's always a pleasure to be connected to all of you. Till we meet again, until I see you soon, hopefully in person. Bye and good night everybody.